When men and women come together in an intersexual dynamic, there are a number of issues. The issues arise from the way the woman communicates and operate is completely different from the way the man communicates and operate. We are different by design and we have different relationships, right? And the issue starts from the woman. The women are codependent and dependent. They've been raised in a dependent way. This has made them codependent. And the women are attracted to independent men. So chances are, if a woman is attracted to you, definitely if the woman is pursuing you, then you are an independent man. She feels your independent spirit, your masculine edge, your masculine spirit. Okay? Now, the issue is, as a man, you know what it's like to be codependent and dependent because you was like that as a little boy. The thing is, the masculine journey, the hero's journey, is to go from dependent, codependent, to independent. And this is a very painful journey. A very painful journey because you're attached to the herd. You don't actually want to leave the herd, and the herd does not want you to leave it. So there's a whole bunch of psychological and emotional manipulation for you to overcome. There's a lot of conditioning and indoctrination that you need to overcome for you to separate from the herd. Okay? And then there's a lot of dragons to slay for you to even have the ability to be independent. You need to learn how to think for yourself. You have to take your autonomy and agency away from those who have it. You know, those who have it. You have to take that away, bring it back to yourself. You have to unify your divided self, because in society, culture and social orientation is designed to divide you, right? Because when you're divided, you will be a part of the herd. So there's a lot of things that you need to do as a man to be independent. Most men never even become independent, honestly, well, in today's society, right? Because there's not enough hardship for us men. So the issue is with the women. The women, all the woman knows is codependency and dependency. She doesn't know anything about being an independent person. Because of this, she doesn't know how to have an interdependent relationship, guys. Guys, the goal of everything in a relationship is simply this. The man must teach the woman independence through having an interdependent relationship with him, guys. I'll say that again. The man must teach the woman aspects of independence through having an interdependent relationship with him. This is the whole power struggle. This is what everything is, okay? As I said, women tend to only be attracted to the independent man. So the woman is going to bring her dependencies and her codependencies. For example, the woman has the wrong idea of what love is. The woman believes that love is a feeling. The woman believes that love is a feeling. Love is not a feeling, guys. Love is a very powerful one-way act of giving. Okay, love does not care if it doesn't receive anything back in return. So the woman doesn't have an understanding of love. The man does. The woman only has an understanding of dependency. Okay, so, and with codependent love, women believe in consumptive love. Consumptive love is dangerous. Consumptive love is only beneficial for her children. I'll say that again. Consumptive love is only beneficial for your children and only for a small period of time. After a period of time, you have to socially orientate them, and then the father has to prepare the child for independence. Kick that kid out on his pilgrimage. Okay, the dad separates the child from the mother because the dad literally symbolizes and represents independence. So because the woman will only be able to, she only has understandings of consumptive love. Fellas, if you allow yourself to be consumed by the love of your dependent, codependent woman, she is going to make you regress back into an infantile, codependent, dependent state. The same state you was at when you was with your mother a very, very long time ago. Okay? If she's able to succeed, the woman does not know what she's doing. So if she's able to get you to regress back into that codependent, dependent state, she will lose attraction for you because you will no longer be the independent man she is attracted to. The woman will always be attracted to the independent man because the woman will hit a ceiling. This is something I call the glass ceiling. She will hit a ceiling to where she is unable to grow and develop any further in life. Your codependent and dependencies will only take you so far. In adulthood, usually in her 20s, she will stop being able to achieve the outcomes she wants. She will start to experience failure, right? Because your entitlement, the woman's entitlements is facilitated by us men. The woman's entitlements, women are entitled and delusional. Yeah, because we make them believe that their entitlements are real, and then we facilitate it for them. So there's only a period of time that she can get the outcome she wants until it comes to securing and winning over the high value or independent man. This is where her entitlements do not work. She has to trade her entitlements for the right behavior, and a woman is incapable of doing this by herself, guys. The only way a woman will ever change her entitlements and destroy her entitlements and actually work on her behavior, because the woman has no confidence. She has no confidence. She has a fake confidence, which is entitlement. This is not, you can't have an interdependent relationship with someone who has no confidence, guys. It's impossible, okay? So the woman has to trade her entitlements out for the right behaviors, and she will not do that. Okay, women do not want to slay dragons. The only way a woman will slay this dragon is if there is treasure behind it. Okay, and that's the man's commitment. The commitment of the independent, high-value man. She has to be forced to grow and develop. She has to be forced to turn her back on her pleasures and her comforts and come into your world, the real world, reality. It is a very uncomfortable thing for women to leave her disassociations and for women to leave her fantasy and come out into reality. Women aren't designed to handle reality. She has to be guided and protected by a man. Okay, so the woman is raised into fantasy wrapped bubbles and protected, okay, away from reality it's supposed to be by her father. And then when her father gets to a certain age, she hands this fantasy wrapped packaged woman over to the man. This is how it's always been done. And then the man will guide and introduce the woman to reality, to masculinity, to independence. The woman is supposed to adopt masculine traits, and it's supposed to be you who introduce her to the masculine. This is the reason why men do not like women who are already masculine before he's been introduced to her. That shows to the man that, number one, she's either already been burnt by the world, or number two, she's already been imprinted on by another man. We want to introduce women to our version of masculinity, if that makes sense, right? Just like in the same way women want to introduce men to their version of femininity. Women do not like men who have already been introduced to the feminine before they've met each other. This will say one of two things. Number one, that the man has been made to submit to the feminine already, aka by his mother or his teachers or his sisters, or another woman has made him submit to it, or whatever. The man's not masculine. The woman wants to impart her femininity onto the masculine man, just like the man wants to impart his masculinity onto the feminine woman. Okay, so the woman will be the issue when it comes down to the dynamics. I'll give you another one. The woman is transactional in her love. Anybody who is codependent and dependent, codependent relationships they are very high maintenance. And this is why it's there's so many issues with it, okay? So what it is I do this for you, so you do this for me. The woman creates these webs of that. Give and receive, give and receive, give and receive, give and receive. And because the women's relationships are so high maintenance, right? She can't afford to give without having something poured back into her, or she will be without. She will literally have no energy or capacity to give. Do you know how many women are burnt out, guys? This is another reason why you should think twice about making women your girlfriends. A lot of women are burnt out. Their nervous systems are destroyed because they are literally breaking their backs for people. They are breaking their backs for people. So all it takes is, so they need things poured into them. So, but guys, if you've been raised as an independent man, you don't give to receive. You are confident, you are independent, you are empowered. So the way you give to show people I love you. You give to show people I value you. You give to show people a proof of love. Men feel more comfortable giving things than even saying I love you in many, many ways. All right, so because you give from a certain type of place, she doesn't give in that type of place at all. So you run the risk of doing two things in your intersexual dynamics with the codependent, dependent woman. You run the risk of giving too much. And again, in codependent, dependent relationships, they give based on your social status. They give based on your value. So if a woman is dealing with a high value woman, she will give a lot. If a woman is dealing with a low value woman, she'll give a little bit, right? Because she needs to make sure she has enough for herself. So it's the same. And so for you as a man, if you give too much, the woman is designed to believe you're low value. And that she's designed to believe, I can give him a little bit. Does this make sense, guys? When women are scarce individuals, they're not abundant. This is why women are attracted to abundant men. They are scarce. They have nothing. They don't have anything to give, guys. Right? So depending on your actions will depend on how much she gives to you. Depending on your boundaries will depend on how much she gives to you. Also, in codependent, dependent relationships, there's no such thing as boundaries or privacy. Right? Think about it. When you used to live with your mum used to just come into your room without knocking the door. You will tell her a million times who you knock before you come in, and she won't listen. These things don't exist in codependent, dependent relationships. There are no private spaces. Your nervous systems are linked up. There are no private spaces. This is the reason why she feels like she can go through your phone. This is the reason why she feels like she can survey you. This is the reason why she feels like she can infringe on all of your boundaries or who you are as a person. Is because in codependent and dependent relationships, there is no such thing as respect. Respect only happens in interdependent relationships. Only independent people respect themselves. So you must first have to be able to respect yourself before you can respect others. But you don't even learn how to respect yourself without embarking on a journey to independence, guys. Okay? So in a nutshell, as a man, the only relationships that work are interdependent relationships. And the only way that you can bring children into this world in a healthy way is if they see that their parents are interdependent with each other. So, fellas, the woman will never be independent. She's not an independent person by nature. Because she's tied to her body and she's tied to everything. She's tied to the herd. The woman is the herd. This is the reason why women have to conform. This is why there's not too many women in jails and there's not too many women going left when everyone's going right. Women are conformists by nature and design. Okay? And men have a choice. Men can either conform or men can be independent. And, you know, every man makes a different decision. So the woman is unable to have the relationship she wants, okay? It's like, so for example, the security. Women will always cry about, I don't feel secure, I wasn't reassured, right? That's because they aren't independent people, guys. And the fact of the matter is, an independent man won't be able to provide a codependent or a dependent woman with the level of security she needs. Okay, because she actually needs to be courageous. She needs to learn bravery. She needs to learn how to stand on her own 2 feet to a certain degree. She has to learn to not lean into her fears, right? And she has to learn that her emotions aren't queen. These are all things that the dependent woman has to learn in order for her to be able to be a good partner. And it's your duty, fellas, as a man, to teach her these things. Conflict and tension has to be expected. Conflict and tension has to be expected in your relationships with the dependent woman. She will fight you because growth and development happens on the back end of conflict and tension. And then guess what? Resolution happens at the back end of conflict and tension. And resolution, after there is resolution, there is growth in intimacy and connection. This is how you truly fall in love with each other, guys. Guys, like, follow, something to the one-on-one coaching.